Welcome to the Kentucky Line. I'm Matt.
And I'm Clifton. So we're coming to you after the first round of the NCAA tournament is complete. So we're recording this on Saturday morning. So all 32 of the first round games have occurred. We've only missed four in our bracket, but really what we're here to talk about today is Kentucky's first round game over Santa Clara, which will go down, I think, as just one of the all time classics that we'll remember for a long time. Apart from the shot at the end, Matt, what's some of your thoughts from the game?
I have watched that sequence of Oweh tying it,
Yeah.
us going down, and Oweh tying it again, no less than 150 times.
Oh yeah.
And it is just as good every
Oh
time I watch it.
yeah.
Um,
It's one of those that's going to live forever.
yeah, it. I mean, honestly, I've what a crazy sequence that was. Well, interesting. I was thinking about the podcast a little bit and what I was going to say as I was thinking that we were going to lose yesterday, and I had all kinds of stuff to just rail about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to go with much negativity, considering we won.
Right.
Um, I thought that we played good defense, especially in the first half,
Yeah.
and we just couldn't make a shot. And the thing about it is we were uh, had open shots.
Yeah.
It's not like we were, you know, just they were all over us on defense. We were missing wide open threes,
Yeah.
and just missing shots, and it seemed like we just could not get any momentum. And then in the second half, we start getting some momentum on offense, moving the ball, and making a few shots. And then when we got up seven, I was thinking, okay, let's get a defensive stop. I literally said, don't give up a three right here. Just and within 15 seconds, the guy
Yeah.
drills the three to cut it to four, and we just never could seem to uh, uh, put put our foot on their throat and just choke them out essentially. and
Yep.
and then they started making shots, like, I mean, some tough shots,
Mm-hmm.
and it just seemed like everything was going, balls bouncing off our hands, and just
Yeah.
just the craziness that happens. It seems like in these games, but hey, man, we won, and I'm just that's all I care about.
Yeah, I think you summed it up. To me, it was a tale of two halves, and they were just mirror images of each other. The first half, uh, defensively, is as good as we've played. I thought we really bothered them. Uh, and I thought the only thing we could have done different, outside of knocking down shots, which sometimes you can't control that, because notoriously teams shoot a little worse in the tournament. There's a lot of talk about the basketball's different, it's overinflated, this, that, or the other. But for whatever reason, we didn't shoot well. But I didn't think we did a good job, really, from the coaching perspective, of identifying the mismatches we had. Inside, we had a pretty big advantage when we took the ball to the basket. We were able to do that, but I felt like they were content to kind of play in tight, and then we were content to just shoot threes and not try to make them uncomfortable. So that was really the only downside to me in the first half. The second half was just the complete opposite, just like you said. We started hitting shots. We were more aggressive, taking the ball to the basket, which opened up even better looks on the outside, which did start to fall for some people. Chandler never really did, poor fella. But defensively, I never thought we played bad defense. We did go under some screens, and then they hit just some tough shots. And when teams are knocking down shots at the rate they were, um, you know, they're not going to go away. I think it Mahi, number 8 for them. Um,
Yeah.
I think he had four threes, I believe, and I felt like three of those at least were in the second half. So I don't know. I just thought they were a good team. I think if we could have put together a complete game, it's probably a team we should have beat. Not not gonna blow this team out, but comfortably. But
Yeah,
like I said, it's just
yeah.
about
Well,
surviving advance.
yeah. Here's the thing: they made some really tough shots, and they also made all their open shots.
Yes.
You know, I understand that you can't expect guys to miss open shots.
Hmm.
If they're open, but you typically you're going to miss a couple of those,
Right.
and it just seemed like every open shot that they got, they made,
They made.
and then you throw in um, uh, a couple of really tough shots they made,
Hmm.
including the one I mean that put them up three. I mean that wasn't. I mean that guy was about 4 feet behind the 3 point line. It
Yeah.
wasn't as if Moreno was a little late on closing out. But I mean, daggone, you're going to give some guys shooting one from 35 feet.
Exactly.
So I don't know, but hey, I don't. It was just Oweh obviously just took over, took it to the hole, and then there's a few times where I thought he settled for a jumper,
Yeah.
um, but I think a lot of that was probably he was getting a little tired, and
Yeah.
they were giving him that shot. That's the thing. He could have taken pretty much any jumper he wanted to, but he wasn't really making the jumpers. I think he made three threes, but you know most of his baskets, other than those three threes, were in the paint, and then all of his other misses were, he couldn't get the jumpers to fall. But and he shot free throws better.
Yes.
He may missed a couple, but he shot them pretty well for the most part. And hey, listen, man, he did it. He just put us on his back.
Yeah. I mean, at this point in the year, the tournaments, if you win 6 games, it doesn't matter if they're by a total of 6 points. You're still going to be remembered forever. So, I guess the only negative to me was I felt like when Jasper came in, I thought this was going to be, I told somebody earlier, it's like, this is a team that physically shouldn't be able to dominate Jasper, but he still just wasn't really in the flow, but he was only in a couple minutes. But Chandler, to me, I guess, is the real, he's become inconsistent, and we're going to need him. I think if we're going to win this next game, 1 for 9 is probably not going to get it done from Chandler.
No, I mean, I was saying, if we can get through this win, let this be our bad shooting game,
Yeah.
and hopefully our next game we shoot the ball well. I mean, Aberdeen shot it well. Um, Oweh, I think, was 3 of 8 from the three
Mm-hmm.
point line, which is about. I don't know how if we want him shooting 8 3 pointers is the
No.
thing, but um, but that's not a horrible percentage, and but Chandler has got to, if he's going to shoot 9 or 10 threes, he's got to make at least four of them,
Exactly.
and he hopefully against Iowa State, he's making shots because we're going to have to make shots. Listen, we can't play if we have play offense like we did, especially the first half yesterday, and like we did against Florida. The game, we cannot beat Iowa State,
Right.
um, but we have to beat. Uh, we've got to play well offensively, and that'll at least give us a chance. Uh, so
Yeah, like you said, Oweh probably shot a few more than you want him to, even though 3 for 8's a decent percentage. Aberdeen shot the ball well. You got another one from Diabate, which is just a bonus. But the team ended up shooting 28 threes. And, I know Pope said when he first got here, 33s a game. We never quite got there last year. And that's a team I thought you wanted to see it from. Honestly, the way this team is built, even though that's probably Pope's dream offense, this team isn't designed, I don't think, to thrive on most nights shooting 33s a game. I
no,
think you probably want this to be low 20s to maybe even high teens. And
and it
those need to be
depends on the
quality shots.
personnel.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, it depends on the personnel. If you've got Cam Williams out there and Aberdeen and and
Chandler.
Chandler out there. Well, those are. I mean, I feel just fine. Any one of those guys taking an open three,
Yeah.
let it rip. So it just kind of depends. And Oweh has actually shot the ball from the 3 point line decent.
Mm-hmm.
I just I don't I don't mind Oweh shooting the three. I don't like when he almost is just settles for a three.
Yeah.
If he gets one, catches one off the pass, and he's open, I like him taking that shot, but I don't like him shooting the threes off the dribble.
Yeah.
I don't, that's just really not his shot. And I think that Aberdeen yesterday, I thought there were multiple times where he got the ball into the paint, 8 to 10 feet, and just instead of, I just wish he'd go up with that little shot. I mean, that's to me, we want Aberdeen taking an 8 to 10 open 8 to 10 footer in the
Oh
lane,
yeah.
you know, and he would kick it out or whatever. Like one time he did it and he kicked it out to uh, Diabate for a
Mm-hmm.
three. Well, I don't know. Yeah, Diabate's open out there for a reason.
Yeah.
Just shoot that lane shot. I don't know, but I mean, like I said, it's nitpicky with that, but we're just gonna have to lock down defensively again, and this team's physical and they can shoot it. They've got a couple guys who can absolutely light it up, and so our perimeter defenders are going to have to uh, be on a mission to run them off the 3 point line.
Yep. And I do, before we finish talking about this one, I do think we need to make mention, you know, Diabate had a quiet, I thought, but great game. 17, 8,
Oh yeah,
and 3 blocks off the bench. I mean, that's phenomenal, even though he played starters minutes, 32 minutes. And then uh, Garrison, he made a few mistakes, but he was 5 for 6 from the field. Did miss his free throws, but had 7 rebounds and 6 blocks. And really, in overtime, he was kind of the star. Just the defense he was able to play. He just, they switched on everything. Santa Clara was happy to take that point guard and get him on Garrison, and back to back possessions he blocked the three. And I mean, he just he's when he's on, man, he's really so talented. And I think that's what I've said from the beginning, even last year. He he's so frustrating to me because how much potential he has. If
yeah.
if you were getting this level of production from someone that was, just barely getting by, you're like, well, he's doing the best he can. But Garrison has all the tools, and in spurts today, you really could see it.
Well, sometimes I just don't think. I think Garrison, he definitely has spurts, but I think you sometimes you have to take Garrison, like when he's in for a little bit and doing well. I think you almost have to take him out. If he
Yeah,
if he does well for about 5 or 6, 7 minutes, I mean, it's like, okay, take him out because it's inevitable that he's going to do something stupid,
you know what's
and
coming.
because he starts feeling himself, and it's just like the one basket he did miss. Well, if you remember, he does a full spin turnaround jumper from about 6 feet and misses it by 2 feet short. Um, just just that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm going to give he. But hey, Garrison can guard on the perimeter. We
Yes.
already know this. Like I like him out there against him undersized guards thinking that they can do something, because he's shown that he can move his feet well when
He
he
has.
really gets out there and guards. Sometimes he will back off a little bit and let somebody shoot a three over him. But for the most part, he does pretty good out there. And yeah, I thought he played. For 90% of the time he was in, I thought he played really well. You're just going to get some of that stuff with him. I mean, I'm nitpicking at the air ball, and then I will say, when it was late in the game, I said I was watching it with my brother and my wife, and I said I just don't trust Garrison in the game at this uh, uh, junction. It was
Yep.
it was late, and I swear the very next possession is when he threw it. in between four people to try to Chandler when he went around there. Just an absolute horrible pass. I was like, well, that's why.
Yep,
And
that's
that's
why.
why. But listen, man, he saved the game for us. I mean,
He did.
other than Oweh making that shot, other than Oweh making that shot, he saved the game for us on those defensive stops. I mean, that was just two amazing blocks.
Yeah, he did. And I fully expected once Oweh hit the shot, um, they would kind of quit. But give credit to Santa Clara, man. They did not. They hit big shots to open. We come down and scored. I think we had like 3 or 4 offensive rebounds our first possession that we got in overtime. Scored to go up 2, I believe, and
Yep.
then they come down and nail a big shot. And then you knew that they weren't going away. They were there to fight, and they did. Kentucky was just able to, probably a little more talent, a few more athletes, and they were able to make plays. But we've talked about it and referenced it, but the shot that'll go down in infamy, Oweh, you know, ball goes to the basket, 2.4 seconds left, and I've heard all the crying I'm gonna listen to from most. It's not really even Santa Clara fans. It's a lot of people that's lost money betting on Santa Clara, and they're putting out videos, still framing, showing Sendek calling timeout. Here's the thing: we had the ball.
Yeah,
We had the.
I don't think you can. To me, there's not much of an argument because if you go by the rule, and here's the thing: if he had called the timeout to the right ref, he
Yep.
probably would have done it. But he started calling timeout to the ref that was running away from him.
Yep.
If you notice, as soon as that ball went through, that ref was kind of looking at him, but
Yep.
he didn't call it right then,
No, he
and so
waited.
he turns around and starts running, and by the time and Sendek starts signaling the timeout to him, but his back is to him,
Yep.
and we have the ball.
Yep. By the
You know,
time he actually called timeout, we had the ball. So I mean, the ref, like you said, if he'd been the one close to him, the ref could have gave it to him possibly because he hadn't threw the ball in yet. But it's by rule that's too late. Once the team has the ball, it's done. You have to call it immediately as the ball goes through the basket. And it was a good job by Kentucky to recognize that, get the ball, and go down and score. Oweh, it was a big shot, and it felt all game long. I mean that you felt like he was going to will them to a victory. He was just kind of one of those modes that he gets in. I didn't think it would come down to him needing to hit a nearly 40-footer from banked in to do that to send it to overtime. But needless to say, Oweh in 2 short years, he's hit some big shots, and he'll be a name that people remember here for 100 years at Kentucky.
well, hey man, listen, Oweh, I I think we've all kind of talked about, this team just doesn't have a star.
Yeah,
Well, Oweh just did something that hasn't been done since 1979.
right.
And so I think I'm going to go ahead and shelve that talk.
Yeah.
We have a star.
Oh yeah.
We have a star on this team, and he's been proving it. And yeah, man, I tell you, he did what we he just does he just gets it done,
He
man.
does. When it has to be done, he's usually the one that's done that. From the moment he stepped on campus, really for Kentucky. Well,
What did you
oh, go ahead.
so when he tied it,
Yeah,
and I'm thinking, okay, and I kind of expected them to call a timeout, and when they didn't, I was like, I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
yeah,
But man, when he kicked it to that Graves kid out there, I mean, like I said, he was deep.
yeah.
Malachi is going over to him, and he kind of gets a hand up as he's shooting the ball. But I mean, I wasn't, necessarily uh, upset of with the shot because it's like, man,
No,
he's deep. But when it went in, man, I was just thinking. I mean, I just thought it was over. I'm literally barely watching, and just kind of talking like, oh my gosh, of course you lose this game. and like in the middle of me ranting, the ball is in the air and goes in, and we're just freaking out,
Yeah.
man. It was just, oh,
Yeah, I was
what a,
I don't know, I was just blown away. I just had a feeling they were going to hit a shot. Like once we tied it, I was like, you know what's coming. What I didn't know was that Oweh, was make one of the all-time shots in Kentucky basketball history. But that gets Kentucky surviving advance, as the saying goes, and that gets them for a matchup tomorrow at 2:45. I believe it'll be whenever probably a few minutes after that, 30 minutes after the first game ends. But that 2:30 to 3 o'clock window, playing the number 2 seed Iowa State, who, one of their best players he's injured. Whether or not he plays, we'll see. I've not seen an update this morning yet. Have you?
I haven't seen an update, but here's what I think. I think he's going to play.
Yeah,
Now I don't know how effective he'll be, but my guess is he's gonna. If there's any way he can play, my guess is he will.
yeah,
You know, if they give him a little injection and tape it up real good. Um, it just depends because I haven't heard what exactly. I don't know. I'm sure they did X-rays and stuff, so I haven't heard anything um, as far as what the extent of the injury is. So, and let if he's broke his ankle, then obviously he's not playing.
right.
But if it's a sprain, my guess is he'll do everything he can to at least try to play. But listen, he ain't going to be near 100% if he injured it pretty significantly yesterday. Because I mean, even a pretty good sprain, 2 days later, it's tough.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And you're really going to be less than 2 full days. And so, like I said, so Jefferson undetermined. I'm assuming we'll probably hear something today. There should be press conferences and things. So I'm sure we'll get an update. Maybe even by the time this is published, which should be about the time these first few games. Actually, they're going to kick off here in about 3 minutes. So this will probably be available to listen to by about halftime of the first game of St. Louis and Michigan. So any game stand out to you today or tomorrow, Matt, that you're just really looking forward to?
well, I'm looking other than ours.
Yeah,
Um, I think that St. John's Kansas game is going to be a good one.
yeah,
Um, and then I mean, all the ones. I mean, today I think there's a decent. I mean, I think the Texas A&M Houston game could be interesting
mm-hmm.
because they kind of play similarly.
Vandy in
Uh,
Nebraska.
Vandy, Nebraska, I think will be a really interesting game. I'm interested in the High Point Arkansas game,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure if High Point will be able to do it again. But Arkansas is playing pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of good games today.
Well, I mean, there's also the storyline of Cam Fletcher and Calipari. That was not a match made in heaven the first go around, but we'll see how it goes. And I know I'll be pulling for High Point. But let's talk just for a minute. Mentioned it at the top, our bracket. I thought that we did pretty good, Matt. 4 games only, and the games that we missed were all like the 8, 9,
Yeah,
7, 10 ranges outside the BYU game. That was a 7-11. And we even mentioned, usually one of those first 4 teams goes on a run. I thought Diabonsa would be enough to get them over the top, but really, BYU is a different team without Saunders. So that was probably the biggest one I didn't see coming. But overall, I thought we did pretty good for our first predictions there together.
yeah, yeah. No, I think we did. We got them pretty much, and we were. I think we were pretty close to picking VCU. We were
No, we
kind of.
did. No, we did pick VCU.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I thought we picked VCU, but
Yeah, I've got
I
them wrote
thought
down here. The ones we missed were UCF, UCLA,
yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Clemson, Iowa, which was an 8 and 9, the Villanova Utah State. And then that's been a controversy. It was been weird. Wheeler, the coach, did you see that halftime interview? And everybody's kind of been mad at him, and he's like, it was just a joke.
I did see the comments, but see, I didn't see the context, or I didn't hear it, so I just read it, and I was like, "Well, what's that about?"
Yeah, they were asking him, what adjustments, could his team make? And this was like right before halftime or just after halftime, one of those on-court interviews they do. And he said, well, we've gave up 6 baskets from like under the basket plays that we've scouted. He said, so the first thing I'm going to do is fire my entire staff and start over. And so everybody kind of got mad and like, well, you're throwing your staff under the bus. He's like, it was a joke, people. I was just talking.
Yeah, yeah,
But we missed the Villanova game and then BYU. But besides that, we were pretty good. We had the VCU one. We had High Point.
yep,
And I was glad to see, it's probably still a little more chalk than things have been traditionally. But over the last, last year was very chalk. It was the most chalk tournament ever. But I was glad to see, the High Points, the VCU, and even Duke got pushed to the limit there in their game. It was kind of an early game. I caught just the end of it when I was getting home from work. But I think it's been a really good tournament through the first round.
yeah. I think it's been awesome. And that Duke game, listen, they didn't take the lead till about 4 minutes left to go in that game. I mean, if the other team didn't get go completely cold,
Yep. I think they were a
I
little
mean,
fatigued there.
and they, yeah, I don't know if you know, but they didn't make a substitution.
Yeah. And so I'll tell you another, like a key moment in that game. Siena, about 15 minutes to go in the game, they're up 13 with the ball. They missed 2 dunks.
Yeah, their 7-footer missed a dunk, and
Yep.
it was funny. I was watching it with my dad, and as soon as he missed that dunk, I said, "You wait and see what uh, the run Duke goes on here,"
Well, and so,
because it
yeah,
just,
he misses a 2-handed dunk.
yeah,
They get the offensive rebound, and then the guy, he just pulls back on it to dunk it, and he misses off the back iron.
yeah,
And that he dunks it so hard and misses it, it starts a fast break.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
just a layup for Duke. So it goes from what would have been 15 to 11. And to me, that's when the momentum shifted. They did a good job of slowing it down and holding on till late. But I'll be interested to see. TCU kind of plays a frantic pace at times, kind of like Texas A&M. They're trying to turn you over. It's not as consistent as Texas A&M. I'll be interested to see that game today. But I'm just looking forward to another fun-filled day or 2 days of basketball.
absolutely, man.
All right. Well, we'll talk to everybody tomorrow after the game. Win or lose, we'll be here to talk about it and stay with you through the rest of the tournament. And we'll talk to everybody tomorrow. Go Cats.
All right, go Cats.